Naina Lal Kidwai, the same question to you, because that's something you've also been talking about, is just ease of business, simplification. How did you like the steps that were announced?
If we were to just set aside the retrospective tax issue, which has just got discussed, I think what we are seeing coming through is at least a promise of a digital economy helping us in terms of transparency. The fact that scrutinies and such like will be much more online, and that face-to-face meetings would not be required are all, I think, steps in the right direction. The more transparency we bring in the way a citizen deals with the tax officer, the better it is in terms of the way tax legislation moves ahead. So I think clarity therein is also very important. Not enough may be said on that, but then there may be stuff in the detail which we need to see. But the intent on taking this forward is going to be quite important. I have been witness to some of the discussions that happen around private equity and venture capital, for example, when they invest in companies in India. And every contract has very big provisionings regarding tax uncertainty, to the point that they become deal breakers as to who bears the onus in the event of tax being raised retrospectively or otherwise. And these are big negatives in the ease of doing business and discouraging investment in the very things we would like to see investment in. So bringing clarity is going to be key going forward as well. And I'm not sure we're quite there yet, at least in terms of a global standard.
Naina, in terms of the enough done for the banking sector, most people have said running up to this, in the run-up to this budget, that stressed assets is a huge problem in India. And there's 25,000 crores. But I think stress assets are more than 15 times that, estimated to be. So are we, of course he said I'm ready to put in more than 25,000 crores, but then that 3.5% in the budget deficit will get affected. So is 25,000 crores just a drop in the ocean?
Well, Prannoy, you know that the estimate is that we need 1.8 lakh crore for the Basel III alone, which maybe doesn't take into account the full impact of the NPAs when that calculation happened. And 25,000 crore on the back of 70,000 announced earlier is still far short of the total amount. Now, it is part of a journey. We still have over a year to get to that level. So maybe, as the finance minister has announced, he will stand behind solidly behind the banks. But in itself, 25,000 crores is clearly not sufficient at a time when banks' performance and NPAs are up. In fact, what is worrying is a survey which FICCI did for the period July to September, which shows that NPAs across the board are actually up from the banks that were surveyed. And if you take the NPA number and with that the restructured assets number, you come to about 11.3% of total advances which are stressed or under some kind of reconstruction and therefore potentially needing provisioning, which is very high. And we do need to make sure that it's provided. But the other side of it is, of course, providing the avenues for the restructuring, the bankruptcy bill, asset reconstruction companies. There was mention of FDI in that sector, but we don't know if it goes far enough. So some of those actions are going to be very important as well.